Hey guys, this is Chad, Retro Junkies. Um, a little something different today. I know this is like the first time face-to-face video. I've only done a few, mostly just collector pickup videos and trying to help people out with the NES and SNES. I did like 25 cheap NES and SNES. And anyway, so I'm gonna do a little discussion video, see what happens. I don't know. On to the discussion. See what happens. The other day, I was in the game exchange. Well, I mean, it was with the Quattro cart and all that. If you had watched that collector video, um, that pickup video, I mean, and there were like three kids in there. I guess they were about 13 or so. I think they were trying to trade in some games or something like that. They give cash in game exchange. I mean, this game exchange kind of depends solely on trade. So they don't have anything new. But I mean, the things that they do get in, oh my gosh, it works out for them pretty well. So anyway, I had my arms full of NES games. If like again, if you had seen the collector video, you saw what I had. And anyway, they said, "Well, what is that?" And I said, "Well, these are NES cards." Said NES cards. I said, yeah. They said, well, can we see that? And usually, if it's anybody else, I'm like, well, let me pay for it first, and then you can hold it. Yeah, I've been there, done that. I've seen that. Anyway, they just kind of like, oh wow, yeah, we've never seen that before. And one of them was like, oh, I saw it on an antique show before. And I think maybe he meant, Pawn Stars, when Pat Country went on there with, he was trying to price his World Championship carts, which, I'm pretty sure he wasn't going to sell them. Yeah, I doubt that very much. But, yeah, and they were like, yeah, we've never even seen these. And I said, you never seen them played at all? I said, no, we've never seen these. So yeah, I mean, it kind of struck me that they had no idea, and this was like three of them. And I mean, I'm pretty sure they're kind of the Call of Duty Battlefield kids and that kind of thing. Which I'm not trying to be derisive or anything like that. I know, I mean, I'm not trying to be elitist or whatever, because I play some of that. I wait for the kids to go to bed just because I can get caught up and they can learn some new words if they want to. Not really. I kind of watch my language. Yeah. So I said, oh well. And I looked up to the desk and I said, hey, do you guys have an NES or anything plugged up? And they said, no, not right now. And I said, oh, come on, man. So anyway, they didn't get to do it, but I really wanted to. I really wanted to show them, how fun a couple of these games were. I really wanted to, take a couple out and let them play with it. Kind of educate them. They said, oh, are you a collector? And I said, yeah, I've been collecting probably about a year and a half or so, slowly. I've just now really started clicking in the last few months. So, I've picked up quite a bit, I think, in the last year or so, and I've joined this new site, I guess last August or so. It's the Retro Junkies. No, it was the latter part of September. Yeah, it was the latter part of September. And the Retro Junkies is just an incredibly cool place. And they really like educating these kids in that kind of thing, which I think is very important because when I was a kid, I was like 9, I think, and I got my NES action set with Super Mario Brothers, and I think we got Top Gun 2. Top Gun 2 was so incredibly cool. And you know, people are talking about how hard it was, and it took me about a year, I think, to figure out that stupid aircraft carrier thing. But I did figure that out. Um, anyway, yeah, and then 2 years ago or so, I got married, and she already had two little girls, and they were, I think, you know, they were 7 and 4, I believe. And anyway, yeah, and we were waiting on the internet people. You know, I mean, it's pretty sad, right? You gotta wait on the internet people to play your Xbox, or at least the games you want to play, because you know you have DLC and you can't play the game you want to play because you have to have internet to play the DLC. Right? Yeah. No, I'm good. You get it right the first time, and we'll think about it. Um. So yeah, I plugged in my FC Twin, and I brought out my entire library, which I think was like 20 NES and 20 SNES games at the time. No, I think it was like 5 NES and maybe 20 SNES or something like that. I only had a few, and it was only the ones I really wanted to play. Like I had Contra 3, uh, and I had Turtles in Time and that kind of thing. So yeah, they ran by and they were like, "Oh, what is that?" And I said, "Oh, come over here, sit down by Daddy. We're gonna have a little education." So yeah, they sat down, and the 5-year-old, she wasn't really all that interested. I really didn't think she would be. You know, she probably will be here in a little bit. I don't know. And the other one, she sat there, and she and I ran through my library. I think we stayed up to like midnight just trying to check out the library. And she really likes Turtles in Time. She and I used to play daily. We haven't played in a while, but she and I, we love that game. Love it, love it. It's one of my favorites too. But yeah, I was just wondering what your guys' opinion was on it. I mean, they had no idea what that was, and I really take pleasure in educating them and telling them what this stuff is. And you know, I mean, it's just kind of the history of gaming. I realize, you know, I'm probably taking it more seriously than what I should, but it does mean a lot to me. You know, yeah, it means a lot to me that they get that era when you had to get it right the first time, or your game was done. It wasn't going to sell. It doesn't matter. Skyrim or whatever. You know, if it wasn't right the first time, there wasn't no downloading it. You know, there wasn't no updates. You know, there wasn't no DLC. You better get it right now. So yeah, what's your opinion on that? How do you feel about, you know, today's kids not knowing what it is? Now the YouTube, Pat Country and Angry Video Game Nerd and you know, the Retro Junkies and all that, it is coming back towards the surface. You know, I mean, it is getting more common. You know, there are fewer NES and SNES games over in the section where I go. So I mean, more people are doing that. You know, so it may get a little bit more difficult to ignore, you know, to not get. It is getting more common. So, yeah, just wondering. Anyway, come and see us over at theretrojunkies.com. Also, come see us at the Retro Junkies on Facebook. We have a lot of articles. Nick DeMarco, he writes first-rate articles, as do other. We also have Retro Magazine and all that. You know, retro, you know, all that. We also have plenty of podcasts. You know, Mike Kelso and Rob Luther and all them. We have Two Dudes in the NES and, you know, Retro Thought Pod, and we also have the Retro Junkies, and we also have Retro Super Show and Turtle Flakes and that kind of thing. So, you know, just check us out, and y'all have a good day. Thanks for watching.